Hey guys, welcome back. I have about 6 lawnmowers, none of them running, that I've collected over the winter. Some have been free, some have been cheap. In any case, I thought that we would have a Will It Run marathon with all 6 of them. And to that end, I'm going to see which ones are worth repairing and which ones may not be worth repairing or will not run. So let's get started. First one we have here is a Troy built. It has a newer Briggs & Stratton motor on it, and the first thing I see is that it has a hole in the gas tank. That looks like rat chew marks. I think that a rat has chewed through this gas tank, so it has no gas in it. That is going to be a cost associated with fixing this mower if it will run. Another thing is that it's missing some of the air filter assembly over the carb. I can show you what I do have. Did come with this. So I have the backing plate that will go onto the carb right there, but I do not have it did not come with an air filter, and it did not come with a cover that snaps over it. So that's additional cost that will be incurred if I do feel like fixing this mower. Let's look underneath. It looks pretty decent. Blade is probably going to come back. I'd say it's not too far gone. Crank does not look bent, at least as far as I can tell. And does it have oil? It does have oil. Pretty clean. Let's have a look at the spark plug. A little bit wet. Alright, let's shoot some 2-cycle gas in the carburetor and see if it'll fire up. That's good enough. I think it would run, but the question is it worth fixing? Because the gas tank is probably like 20 bucks. Cover is like 10. I don't know if it's worth fixing, because I think it's probably worth 50, 60 at most, all fixed up. Alright, the cheapest I could find the cover was on eBay. $7.36, free shipping. Alright, the gas tank is part number 590568, and the cheapest that I found that for on eBay is $13 plus about $5 shipping. So that's what, like 18 bucks or so shipped, plus $7 for the filter cover. That's 25, plus probably 5 for the filter. It's one of those oval semicircular style filters. We're talking 30 bucks, and then labor to install all of this, plus carburetor cleaning, all of that. So still not sure whether it's worth it to fix it. It's probably close. Altogether, this mower would cost me about $30 to fix for the air filter, cover, gas tank, and I paid about $6 for it, so it would be $36. I could maybe sell it for $50, which is like a $14 profit, plus I'd probably do an oil change and some other things, so $10 to $12 profit. I don't know if that's worth it. Now, this mower has has one of the ignition coils that I need for my personal Husqvarna all-wheel drive mower. It has a bad coil, and the coil, even a used one, is like $27 on eBay. So I think this mower is worth more to me as an ignition coil than anything else. So I believe I'm going to probably part it out. I may just save the engine as is whole and pull the coil, and I'll pull the cable and some of the other miscellaneous hardware, and that's what I'm going to do with this one. I think that makes the most economic sense. Alright, up next is a Snapper front wheel drive 7.25 foot-pound torque motor. Looks like a pretty nice mower. It has the bag. Everything is in pretty good condition. However, let's see. It has oil. Has gas in it. But I actually don't hold out much hope for this. I'll show you why. That don't sound good. Alright, why don't we take off that head together? Alright, here we are, moment of truth. Well, let's see if it moves. Yeah. It's probably a problem. I don't think this one is gonna run. This mower, I am gonna definitely part the engine out. There are a lot of good parts here. So the ultimate demise of this motor was a connecting rod, for sure. I don't know whether it was a lack of oil or what. Yeah, the piston cylinder does look a little bit scored in there. So, could have been. It's fitting. It's a snapper, right? Snap the connecting rod. Alright, next up, this Poulon Pro 6.5 horsepower lawnmower, primer bulb engine. First thing I notice is that the whoever had it before, the engine brake cable broke, and it is wired open here, so that I guess it will always run. Let's check the oil. It has oil in it. Not much gas. I'm hoping that the cable and possibly the carb are the only thing wrong with it. If so, it should be a pretty easy fix. Looks decent under there. Alright, let's squirt some juice in the spark plug hole and see if it'll pop. I think that's gonna work. I think that's a runner. I think we got a live one. So overall, it's in fairly decent shape, and I think it's gonna run. It needs a carb clean, I'm sure, and a cable. I believe I already have a cable from a Craftsman lawnmower Craftsman Poulon builds a lot of Craftsman's lawnmowers. Alright, follow up on the Poulon. The Poulon Pro got a new control cable, and it got a carb clean, and an oil change, and a blade sharpening. Also got the new air filter as well. It's got a little bit of gas in the tank. I have not started it in a day or so, so let's do a cold start on it. Alright, next up in the Will It Run Marathon is this Craftsman mulcher, 22-inch mulcher. First thing I notice is that it's a little bit janky here, so we'll have to see what we can find for some bolts to go through there, shore that up. Doesn't look like anything's broken. Otherwise, it looks pretty decent. The front wheels are pretty worn. Engine control cable is good. Self-propel cable is a little bit draggy, but it still works. I think that's this right here. This looks like it's kind of got a kink in it. Maybe I'll try and shoot some lube down there and see if I can get it to slide a little smoother. Well, let's see if it'll fire up. New blade. Got oil. Not much, but a little bit. Got some carbon. Probably a carb problem. Ha! I think that's gonna run. I think I'm gonna do another video on cleaning the carburetor and getting this engine running on its own again. So be on the lookout for that video coming up. So I originally thought this one would run, and it does, but it has a pretty bad knock to it, and I think it's a rod knock. So I think I'm not gonna go any further on this one. I may hold on to it for a little bit, and if I come across a motor, one of these 6.5 horsepower motors, I will pick that up and put it on. But beyond that, I think this one is done for the moment. Alright, next up in Will It Run, in the Will It Run Marathon, is this Craftsman 21-inch. With a Briggs & Stratton 6.75 foot-pound torque motor. Is not self-propelled, just a simple basic lawnmower. So let's give it a look over. It's actually not in bad condition. Everything seems to be present, and you know, the cable works. The motor is not seized. It has oil that is pretty darn clean, actually. It's got gas in the tank that smells actually okay, not too bad, not like some of the other gas I've smelled. has a, looks like a mulching blade on it, a newer one, but it's actually pretty dull. Looks like it may have hit something. So give it some juice in the spark plug and see what happens. It definitely looks like it hit something. Looks like it hit a curb or something like that, or a big rock. I wonder if the flywheel key is sheared in this one. I'll be careful when I try and start it so it doesn't break my hand when it kicks back. Brand new spark plug. It doesn't really look like it's the correct one, but we'll go with it for now. Shoot some juice in there. Let's see if we have spark. Or better yet, let's get the correct plug. Sounds a little bit weird. Let's try this. Don't know if I won't be able to see that. That's the problem with these. You can't see them. Okay, yeah, that popped and it yanked my arm back, so I think this one has a sheared flywheel key. So it probably will run as long as it doesn't have a bent crank. So let's get into that. This one can get cleaned up and it'll be ready to go. And here's our final mower in the Will It Run series. This is a Craftsman 6.75 horsepower Tecumseh motor, rear wheel drive. This was in the free pile, so the price is right. So let's see what the free pile has to offer. The first thing I notice about this thing is that the height adjustment is really janky. It doesn't really want to click in. It's just doesn't really work. So we'll take a look at that. Got gas in it. See about oil. It's got oil. Not too bad. Actually, doesn't look half bad. What do you think? Let's give it a pull. Seems to have compression. Why don't we dribble some fuel in the spark plug hole and see if she'll fire. That's an odd looking plug. Oh, we'll see. It's pretty wet. That felt like it kicked back at me. I think maybe the flywheel key is busted on this one. Hit something. Can you see that wobble and the bolt in the center? Yeah, that thing is wobbling all over the place. So even if I did manage to start it, it would probably be vibrating quite excessively. So I do not think that this one is going to be coming back to life. So that concludes our Will It Run marathon. We had 6 mowers, and 2 came back to life and were fully functional. The other 4 did not. The one, the Troy-built TB110, would have come back to life, but I decided to part it out because I needed, 1, the parts were going to be kind of expensive for what it was, and 2, I needed that coil. And there's another video that I will upload soon that shows how I use the coil from that mower, so that was not a waste. That one would have run, but I chose to part it out. I chose to take some parts from it. So we got 2. Technically, we could have gotten 3 that ran out of the 6. Actually, the Craftsman, the other Craftsman, not the one with the flywheel key, the one with the engine rod knock, that one does run, but it just doesn't run well. Not in a state where I would be, comfortable giving it or selling it to somebody. So even though that one ran, I consider it not running because of that rod knock. That engine is going to blow up pretty soon. So with that, I think I'm going to wrap this up right here. Thanks for joining me, and if you like these videos, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.